this book is called Burton and Swinburne in the Strange Affair of Spring-Heeled Jack by Mark Hodder. And this wasn't a book that came through Mr. B's. There were two very loyal customers of Mr. B's called Hiker and Hugh who came to every single event, always dressed up like, you remember how they dressed up in their most amazing steampunk outfits, which almost didn't fit in the room where we had to play.
I think they still do.
They still do, yeah. And
so in a way, it was through Mr. B's, but in a
roundabout way. So it was the Queen's Jubilee, Golden Jubilee, something Jubilee, and Hiker and Hugh were having a Jubilee tea party, as was everyone else in the country, and they asked us if we would come and play a song or two in exchange for copious amounts of cake, which Hiker is very good at baking. And she said, could we write a song inspired by this book, which was one of her favourite books. So it's I like to think of it as like the origin of steampunk. It's like it starts off not a steampunk novel, and then by the end you know fully what steampunk is, and the whole world has turned into a steampunk world with crazy steam-powered sort of technologically advanced inventions and genetic engineering and all sorts of things like that. And we loved it so much. It was such a good read that we ended up writing 3 songs, didn't we? 1 song each, me, you and Poppy. And like the story in a nutshell is this guy, he's in the future, he's an inventor, and he's very proud of everything, but there's one stain on his family history that he wants to go back and rectify. And so he invents a time machine to go back in time to just rectify this very simple little mistake so that his family wouldn't be tarnished with this little piece of embarrassing history. But he accidentally shoots Queen Victoria in the process, and then his machine goes wrong and bits drop off, and so after he vanishes, basically everyone's like, what on earth is this? And so begins like steampunk, as you know, King Albert is now the king and everything's changed and a bit weird. And so one of the songs we did was called Watch Your Back, and that was kind of have all these amazing chase scenes and you know, it's a proper rip-roaring yarn kind of thing. So they're trying to hunt down Spring-Heeled Jack, and so this was like, you know, he could be coming round to all these myths about him were being written up in the press. And what I found amazing was that, like, it's a thick book, it's a long story, and it covers a lot of history, but for the character of Spring-Heeled Jack, it only lasts about 20 minutes because he's like just jumping crazily through time. But the book follows history, but for him it's just a 20-minute malfunction of his suit.
So Richard Burton and Swinburne, the poet, they then they start this kind of investigation. So King Albert has given them this job of being detectives to see if they can find out what's going on in this underground London. So I think partly that's the Spring-Heeled Jack element, and partly there's so Florence Nightingale and Darwin and Brunel are the baddies in this, along with a few
they
others.
found some of these inventions and they're
I can't quite remember what they're trying to do, but they're in this kind of hidden away place.
The technologists,
some kind of laboratory type place, and they're getting up to some mischief, and so there's Sir Richard Burton and Swinburne are trying to find out what's going on and trying to stop them doing something that might change things for the worse. But the one of the great things, because it's a funny book as well, and one of the great things I really liked is that at the start of most of the chapters there's an advert for a new, either a genetically modified thing or a steam invention. But I like this one. This is save your elbow grease with a specially bred broom cat. This beautiful long-haired house cat makes a wonderful and affectionate pet. It behaves exactly as one would expect of a gentle domesticated animal, but with a difference. 4 times a day, your broom cat will walk every inch of the floors in your home, picking up dust and dirt with its long, uniquely designed coat. It will then lick itself clean and digest the waste matter. I mean, imagine having that in your house.
Brilliant.
So at the start of each chapter, there's these things. So one of the things that I remember seeing was about the velocipede, but then I ended up in the song getting it slightly wrong. And I have to say, my excuse, I ended up writing the song that I did in my car at a festival called Fire in the Mountain in Wales, in about, I don't know, half an hour or something. So the velocipede is, in my head, was a thing that flew up in the air that the police force used to look down on London and try and spot Spring-Heeled Jack. But they ended up not being able to see very much because of all the smog. And so I imagined this, I wanted to write it as a little kind of old-time music hall ditty that people could join in with. And that's kind of what it ended up being. But yeah, I think I got it slightly wrong. The velocipede isn't that, but artistic license. So yeah, the song that I wrote for this was it's called Smog Over London, and the chorus is smog over London looks jolly splendid, I've heard.
Sure it would.
Huh?
Sure it would.
Yeah, exactly.
London ain't meant to be the way it turned out to be. God didn't save the Queen, oh. Talking dogs on the streets, bloody parakeets, exploding wolves, don't you know? Who'd have thought Nightingale would side with all those males, making a hash of us all? Smog over London looks jolly splendid, I've heard. Smog over London looks jolly splendid, I've heard. One more time. Smog over London looks jolly splendid, I've heard.
The other song, the song that Poppy wrote for it, we don't normally do like a almost like a retelling of the story, but she did a song called The Ballad of Edward Oxford and Spring-Heeled Jack, or something like that. And that very much is a kind of, like you would get someone singing the ballad of this book.
In a scuffle, his ancestor was impaled upon the fence, and Edward's actions caused a new chain of events. Edward looks around and sees his past is all fucked up. There's every chance he won't exist and he won't be going back. And he's going to restore history as it was before, no matter what it takes. But who could he word Edward Oxford? Who could he word Edward Oxford? Who could he word Edward Oxford? Who could he word Edward? As he sprung around in time trying to
One of the
fix
things
what he has
that
done.
after Poppy left the band, it meant that like a third of our repertoire suddenly was like we can't, neither of us can sing like Poppy in the style and the way that she does, so we missed those songs that she initiated.
And but I mean also we end up not playing a lot of the songs that we've written anyway, because we kind of get familiar with a few of them, and then we end up playing those a lot, or we're releasing an album so we play those, but we've got so many songs that we don't play very much.
It's not. I think this process would be quite nice for just revisiting them. But it's if you're going on holiday and want a proper adventure little read, it's great. The Strange Affair of Spring-Heeled Jack, Burton Swinburne, by Mark Hodder.